good. Tummy's happy. Good. So I just want to start to get a feel for what you took away from yesterday. Because the first thing is to notice something, and the next thing is to actually integrate it by experiencing it. So I just want you to share what you took away from yesterday, whether there was anything at all that was something that you noticed, whether it was something that you learnt when I was doing the little workshop last night, or for those of you that were here during the yoga session, or even something that you ended up writing in your journal around the first day. So it's always good to sleep on new information and then revisit it the next day, because you've had a chance for it to integrate into the subconscious mind, and then you've got something that you can take away. Otherwise, sometimes on a retreat you can have a really nice time over here, and then you can dive back into your life just doing it the way you were doing it last week. So does anybody want to share something that they've taken away from yesterday? Sunny.
I think one thing that I learned from your workshop is I'm such a solution finder, and that I don't need to have the solution all the time. So just ask the right question without the need to find a solution all the time. I found that was pretty amazing.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, because I used to be like that as well. I'm going to fix it, and I know how to fix it. Because that's what we're taught, actually. We're taught at school that there is a solution to this problem, and there is a method to find that solution, and we go forward like that. And sometimes there's a much better and easier way to get there if you let that go and actually allow that to show up for you.
I was thinking about, when we were talking about this, I was thinking about that last night, and all the big things that I wanted in my life. For example, I wanted gender selection, like I wanted girls, and I wanted to go away for 8 weeks in a caravan. I didn't know how to do it. I just said it with the intention, and then that happens. But whenever I try and force something, it just doesn't happen. So reflecting back, I was like, oh yeah, it does work.
Yeah, and that's how we learn, is through experience. But the way we're going to experience is first become aware of the concept, and then you can actually experience it. But the more that shows up for you, the more you'll know that's true. But I certainly know that that's true for me, that when I'm pushing to make something happen, it doesn't happen, and then when I totally let it go, it does happen. Kathy, you've experienced that, letting go.
I have. Do you want me to share?
Yeah.
Quite a few different areas of my life, but I think I'll just talk about in business, because I'm in a network marketing business, and it's really quite challenging, quite hard, but it's also very, I would say, egocentric, in that there's these different rank titles, and there's a lot of pressure that you impose on yourself based on the community that you surround yourself with to perform at a really high level. And I had a pretty high and quick degree of success early on, and then there was some contraction in my business, and I had to push, and nothing was happening. And there was a bit of spillover in my personal life as well, where sort of like everything was just unraveling at once. It was like the universe is just saying, knock it off, knock it off, knock it off, okay. There goes the rug, and there goes Kathy. So I actually was forced into and let go, into a free fall of letting go, and it was actually just, I'm trying to think now, because it was about November, wasn't it? So all of that was sort of happening in May. By November, started the Soul Pleaser course, and had done a lot of work, a lot of courses, but I wanted to just, again, completely surrender to the content and just do the workbooks and go through it. And I completely let go, and almost like choosing to experience things like with a childlike curiosity, like what's going to happen next. That was really awful. Cool, interesting. I just didn't attach to any of it, and I completely let go. And I had decided that I was going to make a decision, which was the mistake I made, about just completely stopping Jeunesse. That's what I was going to do. And the minute that I did that, this amazing new person came in that created this new influx of life force into my business. I had not even just let go. I wasn't even sure I wanted it anymore. That's how far I had let it go. And then in came this new breath of life, and new energy and new abundance. And I'm still not attaching to it, though. I'm still in that observation, like, this is really interesting. I wonder what's going to happen next. I wonder what's going to happen. I wonder what's going to happen. So that's kind of, look, not always. There's still a resistance to a few things, which is why I'm here. But on that side of it, it's really cool what can show up, what gets filled in when you create that space. It doesn't always look like what you think it's going to look like, which is the fun part for me.
Yeah, I agree. When you start to live this way, it's actually really exciting to see how it's going to show up when you let go of the how. So yeah, that's great. Thank you. Thanks, Kathy. So what I want to do is lead into today's theme, which is let go. And all of you have set intentions, and the thing that blocks you from that intention is something that you can let go of. So you would already have what you want if there wasn't something that you need to let go of. So I just want you to think back about the intention that you have set and that you wrote on the piece of paper yesterday, and write it down in your journal, and underneath it, just ask yourself this question: what do I need to let go of to allow that intention to show up? Something that you're holding on to that is blocking you from having it. And if you don't have an answer, just write the question down, because the answer will come. Do you need a pen, Daniel?
Yeah.
Oh, there's one
Yes,
there
sorry.
in the center of the...
We put them there so you can see them. Thank you. So we're allowing a space because for some people lots of things are coming up, and for others it's one word or nothing. And don't make it like the exam where you're looking around, why is everyone writing and I'm finished? Because you will get flow at some times and it will just come pouring out, and sometimes you'll feel stuck when you ask yourselves questions. But I'm deliberately getting you to ask yourself questions, because this is the secret to connecting to your soul and to yourself, and getting to know your soul and your soul's answers, and discerning them between the ego and the soul. So generally, if you want to know whether it's ego talking or soul talking will always light you up. So they're the answers that you want to really tune into, or it will feel like a relief or an aha moment, and it'll just feel like the truth. But don't worry if you need to listen to the ego first, because you're emptying that out, and that's part of the process as well. So always let whatever comes up come out. Don't judge what you're putting on the paper, because that's another thing we've been trained to do. We've been tested through exams, so there is a right and a wrong answer. And when it comes to talking to yourself and getting to know yourself, nothing is right or wrong. Everything just is. So it's letting go of that judgment of yourself, which was one of the great points that Sunny made this morning when talking about meditation. Can you remember the 3 pillars of meditation that Sunny mentioned? Yeah, so be present in the moment. Yeah, so non-judgmental was the last one. On purpose, yeah. So be in the moment on purpose and let go of judgment. And so you can apply that to meditation, but you can also apply it to this self-work when you start to really journal and ask yourself questions so that you can get to know yourself, but also discover the solutions to your problems. So I want to start by talking about life force, and Sunny touched on this when we were working through the meditation, and she talked about the chakras. So we have these energy centers, and as babies, when you were born, you were a pure vessel of life force. That's why you love to look at a baby. You know, when you look at a baby and it's just pure love, because there are no blocks yet. So at the moment it's a pure vessel and the life force is just flowing through it out to everybody around it. And that's why you can see a complete stranger's baby and smile at it in the line. I always do this and get the baby smile back. You know, there's just a connection. There's no fear from that baby yet. So this life force is continuously available to flow through us. So why isn't our life perfect? Well, what we've done is we've developed blocks throughout our system to block the flow. So if you feel stressed, if you feel exhausted, if you feel unhappy, if you feel overwhelmed, if you feel like life is not showing up the way that you want to, you're blocked. And you're basically blocking that flow of life force. So when Marika asked the question of, am I meditating? Meditation is the decision to sit there and allow this life force to come through you. And it doesn't mean you have to stop your thoughts, but with practice, the mind will slow down to allow space for the life force to flow through you. So it's allowing that life force to come in. And I would say that the second part to allowing that life force to come through, which will enhance your experience of meditation, is to release the blocks that are blocking that life force from coming in. So some of the blocks that we're going to talk about today, and for you to actually think about as you let them go, as you pour the light of awareness on them, it will dissolve them. Sometimes all you need to do is become aware of a block for it to go away.